Hey guys, today we've got a story that's going to shake you. It's about a man, a machine, and a crash that could have ended a legacy, but didn't. This is the story of Chevy Reeves and his HelluvaChevy, and the unforgettable aftermath of Outlaw Armageddon. Now let's rewind for a second. Outlaw Armageddon isn't just another race, it's a battlefield, a proving ground where the toughest cars and drivers step up to show what they're made of. For racers, it's like going to war. You don't just show up with a car, you bring a weapon, and you put your heart on the line. And that's exactly what Chevy Reeves did with his Chevelle, a car that already had a reputation for being one of the nastiest machines in the no-prep world. So here's what went down. This past weekend, Chevy was on a killer pass. The car hooked, the power was there, and then, bam, he drifted toward the wall. Before you could even blink, that Chevelle slammed hard, kissed the concrete, and then things got ugly. Flames, smoke. A moment where the whole crowd went silent because they knew what they were seeing wasn't good. The kind of silence that tells you everyone is holding their breath. But here's where it gets powerful. Out of the wreckage, out of the smoke, Chevy Reeves climbed out. He walked. That's right. Walked away from a crash that could have ended so much worse. And let me tell you that right there shows you the power of preparation, of safety, of building cars the right way. The car took the hit, it did its job, and Chevy lived to fight another day. Now let's talk about that car because, folks, this isn't just any build. This Chevelle came out of Cameron Johnson Race Cars, one of the most respected names in the game. We're talking about the same shop that's built monsters like Prenup, Sir Vincent, Clay Cole's Camaro, absolute heavy hitters in the Street Outlaws world. So when Chevy said the car will be rebuilt, you better believe it's not just talk. This isn't the end. This is the rebirth of a warrior. Looking at the aftermath pictures Chevy posted, yeah, it looks bad. The front end? Destroyed. Panels? Gone. Wheels, steering rack, suspension, toast. But here's the thing, it's all replaceable. The heart of the car, the motor, is believed to be fine. The rear chassis? Hopefully untouched. If you know racing, you know that looks can be deceiving. And this car isn't a total loss. It's going to take a front half rebuild, some fresh body panels, and a whole lot of hours in the shop, but it can be fixed. And knowing Chevy, it will be fixed. And let's not forget, the HelluvaChevy isn't just a showpiece. This car is fast. I'm talking record-setting fast. Just a couple months ago in Canada, this thing went 3.70s. That's no joke. That's a car with teeth, and it's got plenty of life left in it. Crashes like this don't kill legends. They just add to the story. Now here's where it gets interesting. With the season winding down, with speed promotions shutting its doors, and no prep big tire racing looking like it's about to take a breather on the big stage, Chevy has the perfect window to rebuild. No rush, no pressure, just the opportunity to bring this car back stronger, meaner, and deadlier than before. Imagine the first time this Chevelle rolls back out onto the track. The anticipation, the energy, the crowd on their feet. That's the stuff Street Outlaws legends are made of. And let's not ignore the bigger picture here. Every crash, every rebuild, every setback in this sport, it tells a story. It's not just about cars. It's about resilience, about getting knocked down and climbing back up. Chevy Reeves didn't just walk out of that fire, he sent a message. A message to every fan, every racer, every kid dreaming about being behind the wheel one day. You don't quit. You don't let the fire win, so here's my take, guys. What happened at Outlaw Armageddon wasn't the end of HelluvaChevy. It was chapter 1 of a comeback story that's going to fire up the whole no-prep community. Because when that Chevelle comes back, and it will come back, it won't just be another car in the lanes. It'll be a symbol, a reminder that this sport is brutal. It's unforgiving. But it's also about heart, determination, and the will to keep pushing no matter what. So the next time you're in the stands, and you see Chevy Reeves pull to the line, remember this crash, remember the flames, the silence, the smoke, and then remember that he walked away, that he rebuilt, that he refused to quit. That's what makes him and this car unforgettable. But let's zoom out for a second. Why do crashes like this hit us so hard as fans? Because racing isn't just about horsepower and numbers. It's about people. It's about drivers like Chevy Reeves, who pour their entire lives into these machines. Every bolt, every weld, every pass down the track represents hours of sacrifice. And when a car hits the wall, it's like watching a piece of someone's soul get battered. That's why the crowd goes silent. It's not just metal. It's someone's dream on fire. And here's where the story gets even deeper. This Chevelle wasn't just a random car Chevy picked up off a lot. It's got history. Built originally for Monza, one of the OGs of Street Outlaws, this machine already carried the bloodline of legends. When Monza passed it to Chevy, it wasn't just a sale. It was a torch being handed off. A challenge to keep that car's legacy alive. And Chevy did just that, turning it into one of the fastest, meanest machines we've seen in no prep. Think about it. A car that has history, performance, and character, slamming into a wall at Outlaw Armageddon. It's heartbreaking, but it also sets the stage for one of the greatest rebuild stories of recent years. Because when you take a car with that kind of pedigree and give it a second life, you're not just fixing sheet metal. You're preserving history, keeping alive something that represents the very spirit of Street Outlaws. And let's be real, this isn't the first time we've seen a crash change the course of a racer's story. Remember Monza's devastating wreck back in 2018? People thought that was the end of Sinister's split bumper, but he came back. Or look at Ryan Martin, who has rebuilt after setbacks time and again to remain one of the most dominant forces in the sport. These moments aren't just accidents, they're turning points. And Chevy's crash at Outlaw Armageddon is one of those turning points. Now here's the silver lining. Every rebuild is a chance for innovation. Don't be surprised if Chevy takes this opportunity to update the Chevelle, make it lighter, stronger, and even more competitive. Sometimes destruction is just the start of evolution. The parts that didn't survive? They'll be replaced by something better. The weak points that showed up in the crash? They'll be reinforced. That's how champions are built. Not by avoiding setbacks, but by transforming them into setups for the next big win. And let's not forget the timing here. With speed promotions closing down and the big tire no prep scene looking shaky for next year, Chevy has breathing room. He doesn't have to rush this rebuild just to make the next event. He can take his time, do it right, and come back when the car is truly ready to tear up the track again. That's a blessing in disguise, because rushing a rebuild never produces the results fans deserve. Fans, here's what you need to keep in mind. This isn't just about one car, or even one racer. This is about the culture of Street Outlaws. Crashes like this remind us that racing is unforgiving. You can't fake it. You can't buy your way to the top. Every driver who straps in knows the risks, but they do it anyway because that's what passion looks like. Chevy Reeves' walk away from the flames is proof that this sport is fueled by heart as much as horsepower. Now imagine the moment. The Chevelle, freshly rebuilt, gleaming under the track lights, pulling up to the line for the first time after the wreck. The crowd goes wild. Cameras roll. Fans lean forward in their seats, remembering exactly what happened at Outlaw Armageddon. That's not just a race. That's a redemption story unfolding right before your eyes. And trust me, those are the moments that make this sport so addictive. So here's my call to you, the fans. Don't just watch from the sidelines. Be part of this journey. Support Chevy as he rebuilds. Keep the buzz alive, share the updates, and show the world that Street Outlaws isn't just about cars. It's about community. And when that hell of a Chevy comes back, let's make sure it comes back to a roar so loud it shakes the walls of every track in America. Because at the end of the day, racing isn't about the crash. It's about the comeback.